Hey, can you all see me on here? I can't figure out what's going on. Okay. Oh wow, look at all the people pouring in. That's crazy. I'm just all I'm trying to do is trying to figure this live thing out. I probably won't do too many of these, but I just thought I'd try it out. Oh my gosh, there's too many things coming in. Hey everybody. I don't know if there's any ugly comments. I won't be able to keep up with them. All right, I'm trying to read a couple. Everybody's saying hi. It works. Yeah, it works. Give them hell. Pick is froze, but we hear you, Cam. I don't know. Maybe I've got a pretty good. I have a pretty good. What do you call these things? Webcams. Let me get it. Does that look better? You can tell I don't. I've never done this before, so hang with me. I'm just going to stay on here for maybe 10 or 15 minutes. If anybody has a question or whatever, I think there's a way to stop this. I'm really sorry. I'm so bad at this. Well, hey, well, just let me. I don't know how many 107 people. Wow, that's crazy. Hey, I just released a video today, and it wasn't that long, but I didn't want to just keep on talking, and people were like, "No, we want them longer." And here's the deal: I cannot imagine why anybody would want to hear me talk, and I'm not being falsely modest. I tell my wife all the time. I said, this whole thing is pretty crazy, and she's like, yeah, it really is kind of crazy because I don't think she even likes talking to me. I don't mean that in a bad way. She's just like, yeah, I get tired of hearing you talk too. So, uh, but anyway, I don't even know how to keep up with all these. I don't know how to. It's a southern twang. Yeah. Yeah. Who keeps up with football? Any SEC fans out there? Has Tennessee won a game yet? Oh, I like to make the Vol fans mad. I just can't keep up with this. Let me see here. Go Vols. Go Vols. Daryl Smith, go Vols. He's a I wouldn't wear that trashy orange if you paid me, boy. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding around. Y'all don't take me serious on this. Roll Tide. Oh my gosh. Roll Tide. I get so sick of hearing that. But you know what? They earn it. The Tide earns it all the time. Who dat? Who dat? Got any corn dogs down there? Any of you Tiger fans down there at LSU? Got to give me some corn dogs up here. Hey, y'all know I had about a swarm of yellow jackets come in my office today. It was kind of crazy. I was I looked like I was doing a dance trying to shoo them out of here. What's up, Dixie from Minnesota? Minnesota, never been there, but I hear it's a pretty state. Isn't that where Ted Nugent lives? Marianne Adams says, "Have you personally seen a squatch?" No, no, I have not, and I've not really seen any signs of one. Alberta, Canada. I've got a really good friend who lives in Lacombe, or maybe they call it Lacombe, but Lacombe. I think it's in the mid-southern part of Alberta. Wow, 143 people. There's no way I can. Hey, Melvin, what's going on? Melvin sent in a story. He did a story, one of the first stories I did 8 or 9 months ago. Dirt Muller, Lacombe here in Alberta. Okay, good deal, man. I'm trying to figure out how to slow this thing down. There's got to be a button to click. Maybe if I just do that. Thunderbolt, what you eating tonight, man? I hadn't even had supper. My wife set my granddaughter's little cheerleading thing. She said she was going to be late, so I thought, well, I'll just try out this live thing and see what it's all about. Hey Dale, I see your message about you seeing something when you were 16. Brother, if I had time to interview people over the phone, I would do it, but I just don't. I barely have time to create videos. This is a stack of stories that I printed off from just the last 2 weeks, and I've got to get through these. And I looked at my Gmail account, and I have over 700 emails that I haven't opened. Which, hey, that brings up a topic I can talk about. If you've sent an encounter in, I'm going to get to it at some point, but I get 4 or 5 stories max in a video, and I do about 2, maybe 3 videos a week. And so um, some of them may take some time, but I have them, and I'm looking at doing another type of a show in addition to this YouTube channel. That's my lab right there. What you doing, boy? What you doing, Chunk? Come here. Y'all see my boy Chunk here? He's 13 years old. He's old and tired, but he's still hanging in there. He's a best dog I have ever had. I mean, by far the best dog I've ever had. Where's Hank? Betsy's over there asleep. Surprised she's not snoring. But anyway, I have tons of, in one way, it's a good thing to have that many stories, because it just means we have just, I don't know, days and days of videos. But the people who took the time to write them down, I know you spent a lot of time on them, and I know they're a lot of work to, if you don't write. Whoa, what is that? Bill Bedoni, did I? Oh man, I know. You shouldn't do that, dude. You shouldn't put money in. How does that happening? I don't even know how that happens. Where does the money go? Bill, thanks. I guess it goes to my PayPal account. I didn't even know it was connected to YouTube. Oh wow, I don't even know what to say. Thank you. That's not why I'm doing this. I didn't even know you could do that. But what I was saying is, we have so many stories, and the people who write them and who share their stories and are brave enough to put those stories out there, even though you can be anonymous. Just be patient with me. We'll get them. And I did offer a couple of months ago I will still do the stories, but there are other channels looking for stories to do. And Matt Knapp over at our Cryptid Tales. I love Matt. Matt and I are good friends, and he's a great guy. If you guys haven't listened to Cryptid Tales, you should go over there. While I'm squirrel, I go off on tangents every once in a while, but things pop in my head. If you are, I want to tell you about a YouTube channel, and I think I know these guys. I'm going to look it up right here. I want to make sure I get everything just right. Sawdust Beast. Y'all have heard me talk about Sawdust Beast. I want to tell you about these guys. They are the nicest. They're like one of about a dozen researchers I even like. I mean, a lot of the researchers are arrogant and they just know everything. And these guys are not. Mark Newble and Larry Porch, and there's a couple of guys that team up with them, Eric and Kane. Those guys are rawhide dudes. I mean, they are really humble. They're good, and they have started a series of live broadcasts, and they started it 2 or 3 months ago. And I wasn't going to talk about their channel until they got a bunch of them up. But if you guys want to hear some real interesting stuff about Bigfoot and what the people do that are hunting them and tracking them, go look at their live broadcast. They do a great job. And then Larry Porch, I think his channel is called Beast of the Woods. That's it, Beast of the Woods. It's a brand new channel. Looks like he's got 78 subscribers right now. But Larry is a funny guy. He's got a great channel. Anyway, I wanted to let you know about those guys. Those guys are my heroes. Man, I've got to spend some time in the woods with those guys and camped out. We hammock camped before and been to some big outings, and they're just great guys. I'll tell you something about Mark. My mother-in-law died about 2 months ago. Well, back in July. And Mark and I know each other, but we're not, super best friends or anything like that. Well, the funeral was in Memphis, so we were all in Memphis. And I look up, and Mark Newble showed up at the funeral for my mother-in-law, and I couldn't believe it. I'm going to tell you, they're just good people. That's the kind of people they are. So anyway, I'm not even checking these comments. I can't chew and walk. I can't walk and chew gum at the same time. Maybe let me read a few of these. There's been a lot of them. And when we say hunt them, we're just talking about trying to find Bigfoot. I don't do that. I'm a hang around. I just go along for the ride. I'm not into the research stuff. So anyway, okay, what was I talking about? All the emails I have. So we have tons of stories, and I just want you to know, if you've sent a story in, it is extremely important to me. And I know how serious it is to you. And I just hope you'll be patient with me. And I rarely get people calling me or following up with emails and saying, why haven't you done my story? I think people kind of understand I have quite a few to do. And again, in one way, I'm glad I have a lot on my plate, but in another way, I'm always anxious about it. I'm like, oh, all these people have sent these in and they want to share it with the world. And here I am getting 5 or 6 out a week. It's just not fair, but that's kind of the way it is. So anyway, that's it about the stories. What else can we talk about? Somebody give me a topic. All right, there's somebody that's going. Got trolls moving in here. I don't have any moderators or anything like that. I guess I could make somebody a moderator. James Mack, thanks for all your comments, brother. Barbara Leary, Storytelling Mama, Deer Hunting. Patty Grove, Jessica Diaz, Melvin. Yes, fan club. That is so crazy. Hey, American Cryptid, you're doing awesome, dude. Awesome. Let's see, I'm going to stop this and Lady in the Woods, maybe you can kind of help me monitor some of these trashy talking people. Hey, William Bell, Robert, Willie Style. Hey, Redeemed One, how are you? A little tripod's kind of in the way of my comments. Let's see. Kevin Jeffrey says, "Are you a big time hunter?" No, I used to be. I used to duck hunt. I lived to duck hunt and goose hunt, and I lived in Northeast Arkansas when the ducks were really in there. And there were several years that I know I did, hunted every single day of the season. We'd get up before dark and get out in the duck blind or get down in the pit, and we'd hunt till 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and then we'd gather everything up and then go to work and work all day and go home and do it all over again. And you wake up the next morning like clockwork at 3 o'clock, and you go, well, the night before you go, I'm not going tomorrow. I'm just going to take a day off. And you wake up like clockwork, and you lay there, and then you finally just get up and go. So yeah, I'm not a deer hunter. The first deer I ever killed was about 4 years ago, and it was a little doe, and I've killed maybe 3 since then. But I love venison, and so it's really good. So there's that, Kevin. That's one question I saw. But I live in North Mississippi now, and there's no duck hunting here. I mean, I guess we could shoot some woodies or teal. I go riding back here. Y'all seen videos of me riding with the dogs back here, and there's 3 or 4 ponds, and I always kick up some little woodies in the morning. All summer long, they were kind of there. I think they were nesting in there, and I'd kick them up almost every morning, and I'd just watch them. It's kind of nicer just to watch them than kill them. All right, I'm trying to find something to talk about here. How long have we been on? Is there a meter on this? I don't know how long we've been on. There's no meter. Anyway, forgive me. I've never done this before. So, what do you think of Dogman? Liz Michael asks. I don't have an opinion. And to be candid, I don't really have an opinion on Bigfoot. You kind of gather information on, from stories, which I think is the best source for evidence. It's my opinion. But there are 1,000 more stories to every one piece of evidence that anybody ever comes up with. And I believe people. I know there are people who make up stories, and I know they, for whatever reason, they'll make up a story, and they'll troll a channel like me, send in a fake story. I read them anyway, because who am I to say? I don't know the person, so how am I supposed to know if it's true or not? But I'd rather do that than take a chance on somebody sending in a really good, serious, hey, Hank, what you doing, boy? Sending in a serious, true story and me skipping over it because it sounds too outrageous not to read. I'm not going to do that. So I read them all. I do every one of them. Spike Bender, you like the handlebars on my bike? Those are Jones bars, man. I got another set of them right over here. Actually, I found them on sale and I bought 2 sets. I don't know why. They were cheap, so I bought them. And they're Jones bars. They're I can't remember they make 2 different sizes. For people who don't know what I'm talking about, it's a handlebar for a bike, and it's not a flat mountain bike type handlebar. They sweep back and they put you in a little bit more of an upright position. I actually like riding that bike mainly because of those handlebars. But I have another bike. It's a gravel bike. It's a drop bar bike, and I like riding drop bars too. I'm sure I was talking about something before I got the bike. bike question. You have 230 people watching. Whew. Is that a lot for a live thing? I don't know. Lisa Keith, thanks for all the emails and the links. Enjoy your pork cooked in the crock pot. That sounds good. All right, let's see here. Miss Shannon wants to be my assistant. Oh, you would hate working with me. I had to clean up that desk behind me before I did this. This office looks like a rat's nest. Let's see. Trying to slow these down, see if I can find a question. When are you going to tell a Southern Illinois Bigfoot story? I'm dying to hear it. Michael Williams asked that question. If I get one, I'll read it. We had a Thunderbird story from Illinois. It was pretty cool. And a lot of people really, I was a little reluctant to do that story because, I mean, is a Thunderbird even a cryptid? But I went ahead and did that story and really got a great response from it. People have seen. I'm sorry, I'm talking slow. I'm reading and talking at the same time. If you ask a question and I miss it, I'm sorry. I wouldn't want to hurt anybody's feelings for anything. See, Michael Williams, I don't know. I'll check. If I find your email, I'll send you a response back. Here's another thing that made me think of something. I get quite a few emails, and I'm working all day on my regular job, and so I don't know that I have time to even send an email back and say I got it. It's that takes a lot of time just by itself. But a lot of people don't even know where to email their stories, and I actually quit advertising it. But my email address is all over my channel. It's on my channel art, that banner that goes across the top. It's on there twice. It's on the about page, and I've started putting it in the description. I started that today. That question, what's your email? That and who is that music by? Those are the two biggest questions I get in the comments. And all that stuff's in the description. It always is. But I don't mind answering that. When somebody asks a question like that, I'll usually answer. It takes a lot of time to read through and respond to comments. It got to where I just couldn't respond to every one of them, but I want to. I really want to, but if I did, I'd be here. It'd be 5 hours a day. Not that I'm that popular. It's just a lot of comments. But I read every one of them, and I go through and I let you know that I read them by clicking that little heart thing. Dezombified. Yeah, I've been waiting to hear from you on what date was good. Wait, where did that go? Somebody just sent me an email wanting to give me live broadcast suggestions. I'll have to read that in a minute. I'm probably screwing something up. Play some Kiss in your vids. I can't play copyrighted music. I buy all this music. I did one video with a song from those guys with Echo Trace. Man, they are such a talented group of musicians. But I actually paid them to use that song, and some of their music is going to be in the documentary that I'm working on, that I'm slowly getting done with. And I still got a copyright notification on that, even though I paid for that song. I think they finally got it worked out, but Yeah, I would love to play AC/DC, Marshall Tucker Band. I would love to play all the real popular top 40 rock and roll stuff because a lot of it would go with the theme of some of these videos. Lady in the Woods. Okay, I'm looking. Thanks, Chris, for your patience on that. I appreciate that. Live stream working. Skinnerd. Skinnerd. American Cryptids. Put that on your channel. See how that works on the copyright thing. Oh, they'll get you. Wendy, the music is copyrighted, but there's a company that owns it, and I buy the rights to use the music on our videos. Okay, here's a good question. Daisy Obert, I think I pronounced her name right. She said, "What made you decide to do your show considering that you haven't actually seen a Sasquatch yourself?" No pun intended, just the subject. Well, I, I've explained this on a couple of podcasts, but I'll tell you now. Am I talking too much here? I'll get off here if sometimes I feel like I just go on and I'm not making any sense. But anyway, I got interested in Bigfoot probably about 3 or 4 years ago. My grandkids and I they live in Arkansas, and I go over there and get them sometime in the summer. Come here, Roxy. Come on, girl. I was trying to find my lab. Sometimes he wanders off. Anyway, I got interested in Bigfoot listening to the Bigfoot Outlaws, Matt Knapp's podcast that he does. Hey, Roxy. And then my grandkids and I, we loved listening to that when we were riding. And then, long story short, there was an invitation put out by the Outlaws to do a camp out in Mississippi. And believe it or not, I didn't have to work that weekend. And so I went. And that's where I met Mark Newble and Larry Porch. And I met those people. They're the nicest people. And so I don't think, and y'all may think this is crazy, but I think I'm interested in Bigfoot more so because of the people who are interested in Bigfoot. Almost every person I've met, personally met, that has anything to do with this subject, they're nicer than people you meet at church. I mean, they're nicer than your buddy that you go drink a beer with every night if you're a regular. They're just good people. And I always felt like I was welcome and part of, not necessarily part of the clique. It's not really a clique. They all know each other, but they were very welcoming. And, I never felt like an outsider. And I think that got me more interested in the topic than anything. And I've heard Bigfoot stories all my life. I've never known anybody personally that had a real radical experience, so I didn't have that kind of exposure. But I mean, I'm 57 now. I started working in a steel fabrication shop when I was 16. And I actually started out driving a truck. I had just got my driver's license, and I was driving a bob truck with a 20-foot flat on the back, and I was taking steel from Memphis to New Orleans, Memphis to Atlanta, Birmingham, and I don't know why they let me drive that truck, but I did pretty good. Anyway, I worked my way into the shop, and through the years, I worked in the field. I've erected steel before. I'm not a connector or anything like that. I'm just kind of a helper hand. But anyway, when you're around so many people for so long, the subject is eventually going to come up. Bigfoot is a very popular topic. And I've heard dozens of Bigfoot stories, and I've only written stories on my channel for maybe a half a dozen of them that I've heard. And so I and now I've gotten to where I ask people. Like there was one story I did on Jonas. That was from me asking a guy at the dump. I said, I'll just say, uh, "Hey, you ever seen any Bigfoot out here?" And they'll laugh and no, no. And then they'll tell you a story. They'll generally always tell you a story. So if you're ever looking for good Bigfoot information, all you have to do is ask people, and usually somebody will tell you. Matter of fact, one of the stories I did in the video that we put out today was from Dave. He lives in Tacoma, and he has gotten to where the guys he hunts with or that he comes across, he's asking them, have you ever seen a Bigfoot? And people are starting to tell him stories. And so this is, it's not hard to do. And you can do it in a way so that you don't look like an idiot. You know, you can kind of wink at them or whatever. And that's kind of what I'll do. I'll just say, hey, you ever seen Bigfoot out here? And they kind of think you're joking, but they're not really sure. And if they think you're joking, you go, no, I'm serious. Have you ever seen anything? Sometimes they'll come on with a story. But anyway, that's enough of that. I'm trying to see if I can find a question. Miss Shannon, would you want to see a Bigfoot? Yeah, I would love to. I said that in that video today. If I heard a big roar or growl or something, unless it's coming at me, I'm going to stay there and see if I can see it. I'm not brave. I'm not Mr. Macho. That's just the way I am. I'll sit there and look and look and look until I see it. Hit the like button. Is that a deal? Are there even like buttons available? 318 people in here. What? Let's see. Samuel Arnold, are you interested in doing true encounter interviews with eyewitnesses? Yeah, I kind of am, but you know, somebody already does that, and I'm not a follower. I'm not going to try to Twinkie somebody else's thing, and they do a good job. And I'm always joking. People will mention what's Sasquatch Chronicles, and they do their thing. I do my thing. Matt Knapp does his thing. We all do our own little thing, and you know I want to do my own thing. But yeah, I would interview people, and I might. I kind of wanted to do live shows on a regular basis, but it's just too much, you know. I just have too much going on, and I just couldn't. I just couldn't add that to it. Matter of fact, I had a guest lined up. Her name was Linda, and she's actually a Mohawk Indian who lives in Canada. And I spoke with her on Hangouts, and we kind of set it up, and we were going to do it. And then I thought, you know, I'm doing good just to get these stories done and these videos out. Hey, did anybody notice on my video today when the Dixie cryptid thing comes up, did y'all see something different? I'm trying to be a little creative with my intros, not make them longer, but if y'all didn't notice, go back and look at that. And then my title of the story was wrong. I had the word many in there twice. It happens. Did I see the giant squid egg they found in Norway? No, Robert, I didn't. Nope, never hunted the Victoria ditches in northeast Arkansas. I've hunted all in that. What is that river that runs up through there? I keep wanting to say Forked Deer, but that's West Tennessee. I've hunted all the river over around Cache, down around Stuttgart. I used to lease fields over there. I had a, I was doing pretty good with the steel business, and I could lease big fields over there to take customers and all. And so I had a place to hunt every day. How about some Roy Buchanan intro music? How about some Joe Bonamassa? Need to play some ZZ Top. $300's good. Okay, well, that's good. I'm not really trying to do good. I just thought I'd come on here and see what was going on. Looking for a question. Looking for a conversation starter. Chasing the Beast, that's a good channel. The problem, Skinner, Happy Camper Skinner, Free Bird. I hate that song. Hate that song. But I like everything else they do. One of the things that keeps people from coming forward with their Bigfoot and cryptid stories is, or some people in the Bigfoot community, like know-it-all researchers, because I've seen over, and it doesn't happen in our comments or on our channels, and I don't know, people may be talking about this channel on other venues. I don't know. On Facebook, I've heard people talking about us bad on Facebook. That's fine, but I've seen it where people will ridicule. These are Bigfoot quote experts, self-proclaimed, self-anointed experts, who will criticize people who talk about an encounter they had. Now that's coming within the realm of the genre. Now, does that make sense? Some of your worst enemies are some of these Bigfoot people, and it just flies all over me. I can't measure twice. What are you guys doing? Don't anybody put any more money in this thing. That is not why I did this. Matter of fact, I may refund y'all's money to you if I can figure out where it went. Measure twice. Thank you. They said, love this live stream. Lots of fun. Anyway, Bigfoot people are sometimes your worst enemy. And they'll be real critical and demeaning of someone who tells a story, and the person's just telling them what they saw. And that's had a little bit to do with starting this channel. I thought, well, if people did respond and want to share their encounters, I didn't think you all would, but you did. But I thought, I won't ridicule anyone. I'll just read them and tell them like they are and thank people for sending them. And because you don't, and I do, I do put some stupid commentary behind the video, behind the stories. I don't know why I do. It's like fill-in talk, I mean what I'm saying, but that's why I do it. But I don't like making people feel uncomfortable, or I don't like hurting people's feelings. That's let's see, there's somebody said I kept quiet because I didn't want my family to be afraid to hike the trails, and I think I was crazy. I see a lot of people say that they're not going camping anymore. They're not going in the woods. That's crazy. You guys, don't be afraid of camping. Don't be afraid of being in the woods. I would not think twice about walking back on this 500 acres behind me with just a flashlight and walking the whole route that we do with the dogs. There's nothing. The only thing out there that could hurt me is sometimes there's a pack of cur dogs that run around there, but normally they run away from you. But okay, El Nino the best, y'all quit putting money in here. I'm serious. I'm serious. Hi, Birdnest 58. Hey, Birdnest 58. Love your comments. What was I talking about? Oh, don't be afraid to go in the woods. There's the North American woods, the southeastern United States, not up where there's grizzlies and things like that. Grizzlies scare me. Even black bears can get after you. But in the southeastern, look, you just need to find out what predators are in your area. And if there aren't any, you go in the woods, go camping, go have fun and enjoy the outdoors. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Yeah, I should do a story, but I'm fixing to wind this down in a minute because Karen Warren, shame on you. I'm going to shut this off. I'm not kidding. This is you guys quit the money thing. Just quit it. Joseph Dietz, that's right. The biggest thing you have to worry about is stepping in a hole and twisting your ankle or breaking your leg. But if you broke your leg on a hike, so what? You did it having fun. Thanks, Craig McDonald. Robert says, but a lot of people go missing in parks and woods. I don't think a lot of people do compared to the people that visit the parks. And I think you're talking about that 411 stuff. And, I don't know. I'm not going to stop going to the woods. And I'm not a big outdoorsman. I'm not a prepper or a survivalist, but I like to be away from the traffic and things like that. I love to ride my bike out on these trails. And I live in Maywood. Did you ever go swimming there? Of course, William. Maywood around Memphis? Are you kidding, man? Thanks, Maria. Thanks for the donation. I guess I'm gonna have to start thanking people. Mary, no. All right, I'm gonna get off here if you guys don't stop this. I gotta figure out how to turn this off. Look, YouTube pays us for putting ads on our videos, so I make a little gas money on this and these videos. No, there ain't no money in YouTube. If y'all think there's big money in YouTube, you're wrong. But that's plenty for me. I have more fun doing this than you guys can imagine. It's dark out here. I'm gonna make sure I can see my dogs. All right, I got 3 of them here. Yes, I understand people are showing their appreciation, but you don't have to do it that way. YouTube gets 40%. See, you're wasting your money. You're giving YouTube 40% of the money. Oh, wow. Show me the dogs. Okay, let me see. Let's see if I can get them. I'm trying to shine it out there. There's Roxy on the porch. She's the only one in here. She stands guard all the time. Okay, look, I just want to get on here. If I find one more question, I'll talk about one more thing, and then I'm gonna skedaddle on out of here. Mary Cats, that's right. It is a lot of work and you think about it all the time. But it is fun. No bugs coming in through the door, Troy. No, believe it or not. If I had my big lights on, they would probably be in here. Willie Style, what's your job? I work in the structural steel business. See, somebody asked, have I ever had an experience with Bigfoot? No. Two Jack Russells under your feet. Let's see. Why do you think no bodies have been found brought to the public attention? I don't know. Some people claim they have shot them and killed Bigfoots. And do I think Bigfoot was on the ark? I don't know. Oh, let's see. James Smack, no, I don't. I'm just on the engineering end of the steel business. I don't sell it anymore. Bigfoot originally landed in Canada. I don't doubt it. Thanks, Joe Walls. Wendy, if you have a story, send it. Peggy Sue Collins, what's your favorite story? Oh, that's a hard question. I love Patricia's story about her seeing the four Bigfoot coming out in the cornfield in the moonlight. Um, her son Mark sent me that story. I love doing that story. Do I believe that Bigfoot has magical powers? No, I don't. I don't believe that, but they could. There was a story in the video today about a guy who just felt horrible when he said the Bigfoot was around him for when Bigfoot came up on him. So, bye, Melody. Okay, I hate to get off, God. We got a lot of people in here. I didn't expect this. I figured maybe 10 or 12. Yeah, that Civil War story was good. Now that was stretching a letter that I wrote, and I made some assumptions on that. So, love my chickens. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I like them too. I got to walk right out here and lock them up in just a second. Thanks, Scotty. Cam, what's your favorite time of day to read stories? You mean to record them? I do them in the mornings. Like I get up at 3:30 or 4 and I come out here when it's dark and the dogs are calm. They won't let me leave that house without them. They raise sand if I go out. These four dogs are with me 24/7. And I'm always they're just like it's kind of weird, really. But we live out in a place where they don't run off but yeah, so I like to read. I like to do them in the morning because I can get a whole video done by 8 or 9 and then I can move on to work. All right, I'm gonna find one more question. I like the stories when Bigfoot helps people too. Let's see, the little schoolgirl who sent a story a while ago, ask her for another one. She has talent. Yes, she does. She sure does. I don't know if we're going to do many more of those. Looking for one more question. Do I believe in interdimensional consciousness? I don't even know what that is. I'm not being rude. I really don't know what that even means. All right, there's a good question. Dirt Mollard, who's your football team? I'm an Ole Miss Rebel fan. I like the Memphis Tigers, and I love to see Kentucky win. I lived in Lexington for about 10 years, and I've lived all over. I follow the work. I don't anymore. I'm playing it now, but I lived in Lexington, and you could go to a basketball game in Rupp Arena, and they'd be playing the worst team in the NCAA, and that place would be packed. The Kentucky Wildcat football team would be playing Auburn, Alabama, Ole Miss, Florida, somebody. There'd be 5,000 people in the stands. It was really pathetic when I was there. I always pull for those guys. Yeah, I liked Kentucky, but it is a basketball state. You don't even see kids out playing football in the front yard. They're all shooting basketball. Miss Shannon, what does your wife think of your channel and the subject of Bigfoot? She thinks I'm crazy and she gets tickled and she laughs all the time. And she really laughed and giggled when I told everybody she was changing the oil in my diesel. All right, here's the last question. When you go to the woods, this is from Christina Simpson. When you go to the woods, are you always looking over your shoulder or for the bumps in the night? No. I People have asked me similar questions before, and I don't know. I guess it's because I have this channel, but when you go through the woods there, are you looking for Bigfoot? I don't even think about it. I don't think about it. I don't look. Sometimes I'll look across, an open spot of woods, and I'll wonder what it would look like for a 10 foot tall creature to be paralleling me or walking, off in the woods and silhouetted against the fauna and, walking behind the trees. And I can visualize all that. But other than that, I just never think about it. I never think about it. I think about fire ants and yellow jackets more than I do Bigfoot. All right, I'll go one more question. Still got 300 people in here. I guess people quit commenting because I can't get to them all. I'm sorry. I'm going to scroll back up, see what I can find. Oh, well, I'm not going to be able to find another one. Let's see if somebody's left one more question. Have you seen a UFO? Bruce Loven, is that how you pronounce your name? I've got a video on that, and I'll throw that up on Facebook tomorrow so you can watch it. But it's I don't know if I saw a UFO, but I've seen a couple of strange things, and I put that in one of my videos. Okay, one more. Samuel Arnold said, "Do you believe Bigfoot are like people as far as different races and personalities?" Uh, Personalities, yes. I don't know about the races, but I mean, all four of my dogs, they all have four different personalities, and I wouldn't think if Bigfoot exists, I wouldn't think they would be any different. Okay, first last says, "Do you think you may have had an encounter but didn't know it at the time?" No, I don't think I've ever had an encounter. I don't think I ever have. Okay, look, we're going to wind this down. I've been on here. I don't know how long we've been on here. And y'all are so nice to come in and chat with me. And I'm sorry I couldn't even read all the little thread of comments and everything. But let me just end with this. Thank you all so much for following along with the channel and making this redneck feel like he's part of your group. That's what it feels like. I feel like I'm part of a group of friends, and everybody is so nice. And of all the comments that we get, a few bad ones, and I'll usually tangle up with those people. And the my son always says, why do you do that? I'm gonna tell you why I do that. I want to run them off. I can ban them. I'd rather not ban them. I'd rather them just unsubscribe and go away. And people talk about the thumbs down on my videos. That's who those people are. I run them off. If I can, if I can piss them off enough where they'll just unsubscribe, then I'm happy with that. Because if you're just going to be all angry with a channel and be critical of someone or whatever, just don't watch the video. But some people, they have to leave a comment about it. But I'll tell you when I really tangle up with them more is when they criticize someone who wrote a story. That person can't defend themselves, so I'll do it myself. And hopefully, hopefully I'll make them mad enough that they'll just unsubscribe and go away, and then maybe come back every once in a while and leave me a little thumbs down. Oh man, that hurts. Y'all know I don't do this for a living. I just do this for fun. And we make a little gas money off of this, and that's great. But I'm just having a ball. And we've got plans actually to do another type of show on another format. And when that's all up and running, I'll announce it. Got website that I've got to build that I was going to build last spring. Still haven't got to it. I've got a documentary with the guys at Sawdust Beast that I'm still working on. I've got so much work here on my desk, but I should be caught up in about 2 weeks, and I'm not going to take any work until I get all this stuff done. And that's kind of tentatively the plan. But, and then there's a couple other things I want to do with this, and we'll just have to do them when I have time. But thank you all for being here with me and doing my first live thing. I really appreciate it. I've enjoyed this. I was really kind of terrified of doing this. And I just thought, you know what? I'm going to suck it up and I'm going to suck it up and do it one time. Now I got to figure out how to end the live stream. I don't know if I just click the X and get out of the. Show us your chicken. I've never seen one outside of a Safeway. I've got a video, 2 or 3 videos back where I showed the chickens. All right, I'm going to try to figure out how to shut this thing down.